Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Enjoy the Goldylocks Productions presentation of the In the Psychic Flow Show with Carolan Carey.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to In the Psychic Flow. We are delighted that you are joining us tonight on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, all on the Goldylocks page. Thank you for coming on and being with us. We have a special guest tonight. I just want to mention a few details about her. Our lovely Myrna Lou Master Palmist, Myrna Lou Goldbaum from Venice, Florida, is joining us this evening. And we were just chit-chatting a little bit. I've known Myrna for a while, and I have to say every event I work, that Myrna is also there. She's always booked. Very difficult to get a slot in to see her. So you have to make a private appointment is my suggestion. And you can reach her on her website, MyrnaLouPalmistry.com. So I hope you'll check that out. Now, Myrna Lou is an author, and we're going to talk about her books in a little bit. She has been a master palmist for quite a while, which means she is, like, I would say, high-ranking practitioner, probably. She has corresponded with people in 93 countries. I know from taking a class from her that she chatted about the celebrities that she read for. Quite interesting. I don't know if she's going to share any tidbits tonight. You never know. She is the only world's master palmist who reads live palm prints on the air. And so she is absolutely amazing. Nobody does that but Myrna. Also, we had some people send in their palm prints ahead of time. So we have some readings that are going to be done on the air tonight. But if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Myrna about her work or her books or anything, you can put it in the chat, in the live comments, and I'm sure we'll get back to you, okay? So we're not going to do any live, per se, readings, but we have some special palm readings tonight, and she's going to go into some detail about those individuals. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to be shocked at what she comes out with just from your palm. And we can ask a little questions about how palmistry works if you'd like. So without further ado, let me bring on Myrna Lou Goldbaum.
And how are you?
It's wonderful to have you.
And I'm really excited to be here. This will be fun.
Yes, it is. It's going to be very exciting. Let me ask you first.
Okay.
There are a few points to palmistry. There are 5 points on your palm.
Well, there's 5, the kind I do, there's 5 basic points. And this is a picture of my hand.
Okay.
And the 5 points are, everybody has them. So it's a lifeline, love line, work line, bracelets, reproduction. Doesn't mean you have to have children. It means those marks are there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they're there from birth.
And that's your unique stamp, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's your blueprint for the world. When a newborn baby pops out, they're 1 minute old, their hand is this big. And on that hand is a lifeline, what their heredity line is. Doesn't mean they're going to live to what it shows on the hand. It means that's what they come from. It's their background. Then it has whether they're going to college or not. Has their love line shows if they're going to have broken engagements or have one long marriage or several. Wow. All that stuff's predetermined. And then the baby grows up and changes it all because lines move. They meander, they change, they stop, they start.
Interesting. So what would free will have to do with it? Anything?
Everything.
Everything. Okay. So you can variate from what's on here, but this is...
Well, the hand is what you're born with, and it's what you do with it. It's what you make of your life. So a person who was born with disadvantaged, a lot of bad, they're wrong. Like they have a club foot, they can't walk like other people, but they can end up being a runner, and they can run in the Special Olympics.
Right.
So free will is they are determined they're going to do with what they have.
Wow. Okay. Good point. Thank you for that. I have to say, I had a brief reading. I guess it was
Yeah.
during when you did a workshop at Sarasota Center of Light, and I learned more. And what were they were like 10-minute readings,
No,
right?
it was about 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah.
I got more information about myself, what I was going to do, what was going to happen,
And
which
I
is
predicted
true.
this. I predicted you were going to have your own show.
Yeah, I
remember that.
Getting that I would be on TV, and you said that, and I was on radio, I think, and you were like, "Oh no, this is bigger than that," and I was like, "Okay," and the opportunity came up. Thank you to our producer, Tiffany Michelle White, and I said yes, and I was like, another thing.
And there was no hesitation, right? You just
no, there
wasn't.
wasn't.
Just went right for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that. But I got more information from you than I have gotten from many people in much longer readings in like a short time span. It was just like a little synopsis, and it was fabulous. So I can imagine what a full reading is. What do your readings go? Are they an hour?
Yeah, if I do an hour reading, and right now I'm running a special half price, which is only because of the virus. Everybody was stuck inside. So normally it takes me an hour and a half to do one, and I do it on the computer. I type up a big long report and I send it to them. If it's in person, it's an hour.
Okay.
Because if they're here and I can touch them and I can look at them and size them up, what I need, I get it all from being next door to me, right across the table. But when it's on the internet, it takes me a little longer. I have to get my magnifier, go right up to the screen, look at each line. It takes a little while.
And also, I wanted to ask you, when you're doing your private readings, and you're always booked,
pretty much.
You go home with a report that is 4 to 5 pages long that you can refer
not
to.
in person. Then they tape record.
Not in person. They're tape recorded. Oh, okay.
In fact, some of your viewers could tape record when I say their first name. If they have their phone handy and they turn the recorder on, they could get what I'm saying. This is not full readings. These are just little highlights.
Right. Synopsis. Well, fabulous. Let me tell you, they're going to be thrilled, and they're going to be calling you. And your website is myrnalou.palmistry.com. So please check. Is that correct?
I changed it. It's www.myrnalou.com.
Okay. Myrna Lou, that's right. I'm sorry. Your email is palmis@myrnalou.com. Okay. So I apologize for that. I looked at your website and I thought that's what it said.
It used to be that, but we changed it.
Okay.
And also, people can't spell my name, so I like to spell it for them because it's kind of different. MYRNALOU. It's all one word. Like Mary Lou, only it's Myrna Lou.
Myrnalou.com. That's all you need to know. And I've heard such great things about you. Do you want to start with doing some readings?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay.
So the very first one I want to do is Jeremy. And I don't know any of these people, so this is fun.
Okay.
So his lifeline shows that he comes from a good gene pool, and he's under the age of 50, so he's going to live to 120 to 130. The reason is anybody that age has that opportunity because of science and modern technology and medicine. His IQ shows he's street smart, so that means he gets what's going on. He's a powerhouse of ideas running wild around his mind. He has a lot of energy for somebody. He looks like a 20-year-old. So I don't know how old he is, but I'm sure he's under 50. Yeah. He has a double thickness on his lifeline, which stands for when it's a man, we call it a brother line. When it's a woman, a sister line. So it means extra support for self from in here. And he's got extra support for his own self. He has creative thought processing. He's articulate in a subject matter that he likes. He wants to learn something new every day. He's a spiritual, loving person. So that was just his lifeline. Mm-hmm. So then I want to do his past lives because he was unusual. He has 11 of them. Wow. Normal's 4 to 7. But I 20, and some people have 50 and 38 and 62. They're all different. So he's 1,100 years old plus now, because I count 100 years for each past life that I see on a hand. So I don't have to yell at him. He's not over 20. But when they have more than 20, that's 3 times normal. So then I lose it. Each time we are reincarnated, we come back, the sex changes. So you're the male, the female, the male, the female. So if he had to come back, he would be the girl next time, but he's done. Finally, he gets it. He's done this lifetime. He'll accomplish what he came here to do. So he's sensitive. Intuitively, he can read people when he meets them. And he carries the giving lines, which means he's a caring individual. He's a visionary who projects out. He thinks of good for others before himself. And sometimes he takes on too many burdens or too much responsibility. He has the X symbol, which equals good luck, and he has a lot of them all over his hand. So that's good. So it means it's in work, it's in health, it's in family, it's in relationship. So that was Jeremy. Do you know him?
Jeremy is on in our live comments. Yeah. Jeremy Ridden is going to be one of our, he may have started his new show already. He's an astrologer.
Okay.
And he is going to be a show host on Goldylocks Productions as well. He's going to be joining us, I think this month in the Psychic Flow. It's not this month, it's next month. I don't have my calendar right here. But when I get a second, I'll grab it and go over those dates.
Okay, so what did he say on the chat room?
He is saying, right on, she is awesome. What else has he said? Jeremy's show starts Tuesday, this coming Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Jeremy Ridden, he is a professional astrologer. He says, you're right on the money, Myrna.
Oh my God. Well, I get 90 to 95% usually. So if
I was going to bring that up as one of your comments on here. 90 to 95% accuracy has been your validation and experience with your readings, right?
Right. Well, when I was 10 years old, when I learned this, I wasn't good. At 16, I was getting better. By the time I was 20, I was getting 50% right. So as the years went by, and I've been doing this 50 years, so it just kept on adding and adding, and I got better and better. So,
that's amazing. It's an amazing art. Would you call it an art or a psychic science? What would you call it?
I think it's a science because I know that. But the fact that I honed right in on it and I can't let it go. My mother asked me before she passed away, aren't you tired of doing this yet? And I said, no, I like it. Why would I quit? And I was going to quit at 80, which I just had. And I decided I can't because I have too much fun with it. If you enjoy what you're doing, and you don't always get to love what you do.
That's true.
And I love it. So if you love what you do and you get to do what you love, why give it up?
That's true.
So
and it probably keeps us young to do what we love.
I was just going to say that. That's right.
Okay. Good.
Okay. So Leanne is a client of mine, and I met her once and I read her hand, but it was a brief one like yours. So I did her a full reading this time because she wrote me an email after she heard on your show. And she said, how do I sign up? And I said, well, I already know your hand by heart. But because once I look at a hand, I never forget it.
Wow.
I don't know how I know to do that, but I just do it. So I said, but I can do you a full reading. And then when we're done, when I do the show, I'll just do part of it. So she said, okay. So I did it. Hers is 5 pages. This is one of the long ones.
Wow.
You can see it's all typed.
Yes. Oh.
So, let me see what I could tell you about hers. She has 1 guardian angel, and most people have 1 or 2. Some people have 4 or 5, 6 of them, but it means somebody passed away who felt something special for you. They die and they're either cremated or buried, and instead of ascending, their soul or their spirit stays here to guard, protect, love, guide, and she has an angel that's watching after her. And I don't know who they were. I can't tell what that is. In her past lives, she's so normal, she's boring. She has 4 of them, but I love that. That's good. So that means she got what she needed to do. But the problem is, in 2 of those past lives, she drowned. And usually if you drown once, you learn that lesson, and the next lifetime you don't do it again. She did it twice.
Oh,
So she drowned 2 times. So let's see what else. We all have animal guides. So God gives every mother when we're born 2 animals, and they're called animal totems or animal guides. And I don't know what anybody else's are, but it means that if you've always loved collecting owls or collecting butterflies or whatever it is, you're drawn to that animal for a reason. That was one of your animals. So I love dogs just like you do. So I got a wolf because canine is where dogs come from. You know, they're from wolf.
right.
Then I like birds, so I got an eagle, and those are the 2 strongest ones you can get. A bird and an eagle and a wolf. So she has 2. And I told her I didn't know which 2 hers are, but she'll know. Everybody knows what they like, always looking at. It has to be a wild animal. It can't be domesticated. Can't be a pet. Her love line shows that she had a union in her 20s. It might not have been a marriage. It might have been just 2 people who lived together for quite a while. But now she has none, and she's wishing she had one. And her destiny is to be with somebody who's an equal, and somebody she'll know from a past life. Now, you don't recognize somebody by how they look. You recognize what's in here.
Right.
You will recognize that person by who's in there. And so she's kind of a live wire, and she's the dynamo, and she scares people off. They get intimidated, but she can't change who she is. So you can't change yourself that much. You are who you are. So she needs somebody that's just like that. And her destiny is to be with somebody like her. And to me, a marriage or a union looks like this is a wishbone. See this V I'm making here?
Right.
So 2 people tie the knot right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a person and a person, and that's what her hand shows, that she's supposed to have that. And that it so happens it would be her soulmate. And so they call me the soulmate specialist. And the reason is I love to talk about love and romance. And what happens is most of the women that I read want to know that. Who am I with? Where is mine? Am I with my soulmate? All kinds of questions. And then the men want to talk about financial jobs, opportunities, things like that. So what she needs is somebody who gives her mutual respect, 100% there for her. Somebody with unconditional love, where it's equal on both sides. So she has 4 chances to find it because she has 4 past lives. And since it's a soulmate, it's her karmic debt payback. Once she gets connected with the right person, then you never have to come back. So in her work, it just shows there's a lot of change in her work that's going to be coming. It isn't here yet, but it's on the way. So she owns her own business, and somebody's going to steal her away or convince her that she needs to go with them. She's very creative, very artistic, and she's an up person, and she seeks other people that are up in work environments. So in other words, she can't be with a bunch of downers because she's happy all the time. I'm telling her something new will be offered, and it will look like you will go for it with no hesitation. And she never runs out of ideas. And I gave her a lecture on change, which I'm not going to do here, but the change lecture is all that. So it's a big thing. So I'm done with Leanne, but that was a pretty comprehensive look.
Wow.
And then, okay, so the next one would be Linnell, and she's on your show all the time, or I see her commenting. So she shows she's normal. Her background shows that she comes from people who go into the 90s. She comes from people who are fighters and survivors, and I think she is.
Yeah.
She shows ear, nose, and throat illnesses in her formative years, and then that cleared up. Her puberty was hard because she was smaller than some of the people in the same age bracket until she actually grew into herself. She wanted to hang on to her youth a little longer, so it took her a little longer to mature. That's mental, we're talking. and her health is good, and it always has been. There's no life-threatening disease that I can see. On the love, it says she was boy crazy early. She was a flirt in high school. She had one meaningful relationship, then that was over with. Then the next one was in the early 20s. It looks like a marriage and maybe a divorce. And I don't know her age, so I couldn't with that. She needs somebody whose personality is wise to line the bright ideas with hers. And she intimidates people too. She's energetic. The soulmate symbol on her, everybody, is right here, and it would look like the V inverted right on there, but between the wrist and the beginning of the hand, and she has it. So that's good to know. That means she's supposed to end up with a soulmate, or she has one. And when it's somebody from a past life, you know immediately. You just instantly click. The thing in your head goes snap, and you hear it, and they hear it too. X's show up on her hand, which means she's got good luck in a lot of different areas. And that means she's lucky in life, love, relationships, family, all those kind of things. She'll never have to come back to search again, because this time she finds her soulmate. And she has a criteria list in her head, what she wants in a relationship. So earlier in her life, she settled, but now she doesn't want to. Then everybody hits their 40s and they say, I want something, but I don't know what it is. And she's doing that right now. I get from her that she wants something, but she can't put her hand on what it is. She can't finger it right now. The women all do that. The men don't do that. I think everybody's reincarnated. We all come back. We don't come back as animals. We come back as humans each time. And I can only count the lines to find out how many. So she's 800 years old because she's been here 8 times. So I said normal's 4 to 7, the way I do palmistry. So 400 to 700, and she's just a scrunch past at 8. So I'm letting her have that. But that means she was the male, female each time, because it changes each time. To me, the ideal is 4 to 7, but she's on the cusp, 8. So it's okay. So says she could have 8 different soulmates in this lifetime, and you only need one. Once you connect with one, you're done. Most people never go on after that. They're content. I got mine this time, so I know that. So I was going to show my picture real quick. This is mine. I don't know if you can. Okay, here.
There he is, the love of her life.
Well, he's 70 pounds less than this, but.
And what's his name?
Howard.
Howard.
And here's a better picture, a different one. Let's see. But he's okay. We had one date. I'm waiting for the second one. That was 27 years ago. So
that's lovely. What a beautiful story.
Well, because we both heard the click in the head.
Yeah, see?
Time.
And that probably is the most popular question. Like, where's my soulmate? What's my love, chances? What, right? When you say that's about probably the most.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Even you asked that. So, everybody wants to know. Yeah.
Beautiful. Let me go over, let me tell people about your books. Now, this is unusual. You've written 4 books, and which are for sale, and
they're all right here behind me. I don't know if you probably can't see that. I have them. Okay, so here's the first one that I wrote. It's called May I See Your Hand? You got it?
Yes.
Okay. So this one I teach classes out of, and I wrote it in 1996. It came out in 97. And I'm still doing book signings with that. And it's a good book because it's like a dictionary. If somebody gets stuck when they take my class, they can look in the book, look it up, figure out what it is they need to do. Okay, so I wrote that in 96. 2003, I wrote Soulmate Connections. The reason I called it that is I had a TV show with the same name. And I was the host and the producer of that show. Wow. So all the women that come to me, or their stories are in here. But the reason this book is so valuable and everybody wants it, the first 17 pages are things that even your mother never tells you. And it's like don't make the same relationship mistake you've made before. Look
Right.
out for red flags this time.
Right.
You need friendship first, and then you develop it. You have to cultivate a friendship, then you become best friends, then you start dating. That's the way it should run.
Right.
How do you recognize a soulmate? Do they connect on different levels? Yes, they connect on love, romance, a lot of things, but they're also emotional, mental, spiritual, physical. There's a lot of ways you have to connect with somebody.
Right.
Let's see. The foundation of a soulmate is love, honor, trust, respect. Then you have love. I mean, you can't have love when you first meet somebody. You have to grow into that. It says, could I have more than one soulmate? What is karma? If you're my soulmate, why are we so miserable? Because some people come together to complete something, then they break
Wow.
up.
Right.
Will this soulmate stay for the rest of my life? What do soulmates need for each other? What's our reaction with each other? What is my soulmate arriving? When is he coming? Will I connect with my soulmate? What is the definition of love? Because most people don't know that.
Right.
What is the twin flame? And then all the stories, there's 46 love stories, starts with Irma Bombeck, who was a famous writer.
Right.
And I read her before she even did her first book. And I told her she's going to write 5 of them. And I was 16, she was 24. And we worked in the same newspaper office together in Ohio.
Wow.
And so that was interesting. So that was 2003. 2004, I wrote Diary of a Palm Reader. This one has murderers, kidnappers, embezzlers, blackmailers, UFOs, everything else that I see that isn't love. Okay, so that was the end of that. Then I was really busy working 70 hours a week because in 1996, I went out on my own and I gave up my corporate job that I had for 35 years. So then in 2014, I wrote my first, this is a paranormal novel. It's called Cruise to the Other Side. And you can see a cruise ship, a hand holding it, the crystal ball. And I didn't make the cover, the publisher did. But this is going gangbusters because it's a novel. And
Right.
it's a page turner, and people can't put it down once they start reading it. It gave me the creeps when I was typing it. Because one night I was up all night typing away, and I kept looking behind me. At 5 o'clock in the morning, my husband walked in and said, "Are you still typing?" And I said, "Oh, is it the next day?" I was so into it. You know, I was loving every minute of it.
Wow.
So now I'm writing another one. And that one took place on a cruise ship. It starts on a cruise ship, and the next one does too. And it's called What Happened on Emerald Deck. And every deck is named different things on a cruise ship. And Emerald is the one where the kidnapping happens of a newborn baby, 2-month-old. And most people wouldn't travel with the 2-month-old, except this couple won a free cruise and they had to use it. They had 1 year to use it. So she had to wait till she had the baby. So they hired a nanny that the ship had employed. And the nanny walked off the ship with her baby and sells it. So my imagination's pretty good for an oldie.
That's wow. That's
I say I'm an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah. That is scary. That is really scary. Thank you for sharing that. And I know those books are going to go. Anyone who's interested in the topic of the science of palmistry, which is you refer to your work as Asian palmistry, correct?
From Chinese. It's Chinese use a lot of symbols. And there's a zillion symbols that I get into too. In fact, on my literature here that I give everybody, this right here is a whole, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, all those are symbols. Oh no, wait, there. There's a whole list of symbols that I use. And if I see them, I tell people, oh, look at that, or look at this, you know, and I make them look, I prove every line.
Yeah.
So as I'm doing a reading, I show the person, this is this, and I explain it. So they can't say I'm making it up. You know. Well,
I would imagine you've had some very shocked sitters.
I've had a lot of funny stuff happen, yeah. But I actually did Gerald Ford, who was our president. And at the time he was retired, but he still had 4 or 5 Secret Service. And he got in line at a big fair I was doing, a big event in Colorado. And And he got in line with all the other people, and I was busy doing my thing. I didn't look up, and then he sat down, and I knew who it was. And I was like shocked that he came to me. And he said, I don't believe in palm reading, and I think you're a big phony, and unless you tell me something only I know, I'm going to go downstairs and tell everybody in this here dinner party that you're a phony. So I made a little prayer to myself, which usually I don't pray for me, I pray for other people. And I said, please make me brilliant, make this good. So I look in his hand, tell him something that happened when he was 19. He jumped up from the table and yells, I'm a believer. I got him.
Wow.
So
Where do you think that skepticism was coming from? I mean, he did get in line. I would be surprised
because he was a skeptic. That's exactly what he said. Well, this particular event was called Cirque du Soleil, and there was 2 belly dancers. He sent them home. He wouldn't let them dance because he said his wife wasn't going to be subjected to that. So they were crying in the bathroom, and I had to take care of them in the restroom. And they got paid $500 a piece. I said, you got your money, just go home. We want to dance, and they were carrying on, but he wouldn't let them. Then he was going to get rid of the psychics who were at that party, and he thought he was going to get me right then. I got him. So I got him instead.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That is great. That's a great story. I would never have imagined that of him, but anyway, there you go. You never know, right?
Well, he was pretty gruff, he was.
Yeah. I'm shocked. Okay. Who do you have next for us?
Okay, Julia.
Ah.
So I don't know her age either. So let's see. Her lifeline has a double fork at the bottom. So everybody has a lifeline. Starts on the baby finger side and it goes across, and it usually comes up here somewhere.
Okay.
And hers has everybody has a fork. So it looks like this. A V. It looks like a straight line with the fork at the end. And her fork is 2 of them. So that says she's a caregiver. That means she cares about humanity, community, environment, people, animals, all kinds of things. But when you have a double, it's also your IQ. And it says she could be a Mensa member if she wanted to. That's how smart she is.
Wow.
And most people have 1 or 2 at the end. And I think I saw 3 once in a while, but 2 is pretty unusual too. She has 3 guardian angels, who I don't know who they are, but that means 3 people died. Any over 2 is called a phenomenon. And they're her personal angels. It's not like Archangel Michael. It's not those kind of angels. She has 10 past lives, so she's 1,000 years old plus now. And it says she has to come back a few more times. She won't be done this time. So the other ones I read are finished. She isn't. She has more to learn or more to do to accomplish. So she won't be able to get everything this time in this lifetime. So she'll have a full life, but then she'll be coming back. Her past lives are clearly marked, and it shows she learned a lesson and she didn't repeat it. So at least when the one who had 2 drownings, she isn't going to do that. Okay. Her heredity line reveals a lot of hardworking individuals in her line who never gave up or gave in. They had the genes that says, I will get this if it kills me. And they just, it's her. She would be like that too. So it means she's not a quitter. Her love line shows some activity, then a long relationship that's gone, or it will be soon. And she's never seen a soulmate. That's why she's coming back. She has to come back because she never had one. She can be famous someday. She needs somebody to walk the same drummer's beat that she does. They have to be on the same path, or they're not going to be compatible. And she can't have anybody that's in her hip pocket, like a dictator, telling her what to say, what to dress, all that. She has to be a free agent, and they have to be 2. So nobody's king of the mountain all the time. There's no competition, sexual tension, aggravation, fighting. It should be all easy, and all that should be going on because she's going to be in a new position or a new situation, and that she'll have none of that will happen because she did it all back there in a past life. So she'll just go forward. In work, it says she began at a young age. She learned the value of money and how to earn it, and she's very careful with money. When she retires, she'll have a lot of money in her pot. In other words, she'll have a family pot that she throws money in every week, and she's just a saver. She has 5 X's on ESP, and most people have 1 or 2. 4 is pretty unheard. I have 4. The most you can have is 5, and the people who had 5 would have been Jeannie Dixon, who told President Kennedy, "Don't go to Texas, I'm a seeress." She had 5. And Edgar Casey was known as the sleeping prophet. He had 5. But most people have 1, 2, 3. You had 3.5. I have 4. See, I remember your hand. So, okay. We're still on Julia. Let's see. She gravitates to jobs where it involves humanity. That's because she likes the human mind, body, soul, spirit, and fields that include humans. She wouldn't be happy working with just paperwork. And she could be in a medical field or police investigation or anything involving human contact. She's a warrior, and she takes on everybody's load. So people must dump on her, and she lets them. She needs to pace herself or burnout will happen. Writing and research come easy for her, and she's capable of doing them very well. She enjoys questioning people. She's a perfectionist, and she has creative ideas. She believes in follow through and perseverance. So that was Julia. Or anybody writing to you?
Yes, a few questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Jeremy Ridden, our astrologer, is asking, does everyone have a soulmate?
No, I don't have the mark here, but I got mine because he has it. It only takes 1 in a couple to have it. And everybody doesn't end up with one. Some people are satisfied they don't need it.
Okay.
Very intense, and I needed it.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. Great. Thank you for asking that question, Jeremy. We also had another question about what I think they were asking about, where are the past lifelines? That's Tamian Wood is asking. Where was the past lifeline?
Okay. So the lifeline is this line that goes across the hand. The finger lines are connected where your fingers are connected. And this area in here between the lifeline and your fingers is like a slot. Can you see? If you look on mine, you can see this area. So in that area that's kind of gushy, you can push on it because people have calluses there, or they, and you just go push, push, push. And I count the lines. That's how, and I can see. So on the computer, it's not as easy as in person, of course, even with the magnifier, and I'm up there right on it. Can't see every single one. Just like faxes don't copy all the lines. People say, "Can I fax you my hand?" No, they can email it, and I get it better than
I see. More detail. Very good. Is what about the line on the wrist? I forget, the Simeon. Is it Simeon?
No, these are the bracelets, and it has to do with 25 years for each row on there. And so if you look, you'll see I have a lot of them. I've already lived most of those. So each row is 25. So 3 rows would be 75. 4 rows would take it up to almost 100. And they're called bracelets. And even Hindu Indian does the same thing. They call that bracelet. And on the bracelets are the letter C. When a baby is born, a squishy C becomes an O when you have to make a decision or figure out something or find a solution to a problem. The C now becomes an O. So here's the example. Dad, I want a car. And he says, here's the C. The kid's 16. The dad says, well, who's going to pay for the insurance and the gas? I'll get a part-time job. Becomes an O. Dad, I want to go to college. Well, what do you want to study? Well, I don't know, but my counselor will help me. Now it becomes C. You get O, all across there. So I have a really big one. I don't know if they can. Okay. This is a really big one right there. So what that means is I had 9 or 10 years of wanting something really bad, and I didn't get it. And it's because I wanted to go to Northwestern and be Lois Lane, like on Superman. I was going to be a reporter. And my father said, "Who's going to pay $3,000 a year for you to go to college?" Because back then that's what it cost. Now it's 30. But anyway, so I didn't get to go, and I got accepted there. So I ended up winning a scholarship 3 days later, coincidentally, to Ohio University in Athens, Ohio, not Ohio State, not the big one, but it was the best journalism school around.
Wow.
And I write every day of my life. So there you go.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you for telling us that. Now, Myrna's website is myrnalou.com, right?
Yep.
And all of her books are available on there. And if you go to visit her in Venice, Florida, to book your appointment, you can purchase them there as well. She also, you do group readings, as well, don't you?
I do. Well, when I do a group, it's like if I'm doing a whole bunch of kids and they're like cheerleaders, I could do 8 or 10 at one time. I put them in a circle and I do them all. Or if I give a talk like where I did for you, and then I do the readings after. Or I do classes and I lecture, or I teach. So yeah, all those things run into each other. So
and you've been doing radio interviews and TV, and as you said, you had your own show for many, many years.
Yep.
And it's so interesting getting this science or psychic science out to people. So I would imagine your following must be huge.
I have over 5,000 people on Facebook that are friends.
Wow.
And I know every one of them. So that's amazing. Most of them are clients, over the years. People are still writing to me from 20 years ago. They find me on the internet. I think during this virus, people were stuck in the house and they had nothing to do. So they were fooling around on the computer and they found me.
Wow. And you've done, you do a lot of, events, like you're going to be doing Sarasota Mystic Fair in July.
Yeah, and also in September, the Mystical Bazaar, and they're both in the same building.
Right.
And they're at the Municipal Auditorium.
Right. In Sarasota, Route 41, Tamiami Trail, if you're going to be there. And I think that's July 26th, 27th, something like that weekend. So please go see Myrna Lou. If you are in the area, you want to see her. Once again, you can reach Myrna at palmist@myrnalou.com. If you have any other questions, you want to book a reading, strongly suggest
half price. And I'm half price.
Half price right now, so jump on that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty. That's kind of what's going on with the COVID. People are offering that, and so I think that's pretty good. So please take advantage of that offer. Who do you have next? Do you have somebody next for us?
Right, I have Jill.
Okay.
And it shows she's a fun person to be with, easy to know, has a sense of humor. She's a good sport. Her personality is non-combative. She's never been a clown or an airhead a day of her life, but she does make everybody around her laugh. She's not mean-spirited or nasty. She's the opposite of selfish, if there's such a thing. She's sensible with her feet on the ground. Her gene pool shows artistic talent in it. So that doesn't mean she has to be artistic, but she comes from artistic people. And maybe she's artsy and I don't know it. When she has an idea, she follows it through to completion. She doesn't like to leave things hanging. She has leadership qualities. And she has some medical problems that might show up in the 30s, and I don't know how old she is. But nothing was life-threatening, and tests are needed, and then it's over with. She has 8 past lives, and we had one other person with 8, which I said is on the cusp. And so that's okay, but she's 800 years old, so she looks pretty good. Her work shows she's highly organized, always plans ahead on work things, and she's organized. So that means when she lays out her clothes the night before she goes to work, she has lunch plan, knows what she's doing for dinner. Her mind is like a steel trap. And it says she has compartments where she just stores things. Not everybody does that. She has a good business head, good on paperwork, on record keeping. That means detailed. Her mind never forgets a thing. So she can remember somebody in 4th grade who was mean to her and she never forgot it.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good listener. She makes notes to herself to remember things. Growth is important to her. Her mind is inquisitive and she wants to gain new skills daily. She's a risk taker, a goal setter. Her work ethic is strong and she's a problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
She's an above board person who bends over backwards to do the right thing. She'll try new inventive ideas, go new places, explore, experiment, discover, and try all the avenues available to learn what lies ahead. She's curious. She's a good friend. She'll offer her shoulder to you if you have a problem. She does not advise people, but she's there for them. Her family raised her to be polite, so she doesn't ever say to anybody, "Get away from me, get out of my face." She just lets them vent because when she needs it, they're there for her. So she's kind and sensitive and compassionate. She's a true blue friend, and she wants to learn new information every day, and her mind is alert. So that was Jill.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
they're all a little different, but I look at the same lines, but everybody's life is different.
That's amazing. What do we have? One more?
Yeah, Vivian.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
So her
do it.
lifeline is complicated. Her hand is complicated because I think she was born left-handed, but she's right-handed today. So that means that her brain does the same thing mine does. And every reading I ever do, I ask everybody, fold your hands up. Can you see? And if the left thumb comes up first, it means you were born left-handed. And I think Vivian was born left, and now she's a righty.
Wow.
So, and your left came up on top too when we did it. So take both hands and do that. Fold your hands up like just like this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what thumb is on top?
Right now, the left.
It was the left when I did you too.
Yeah, that's weird.
I just said that. I knew it. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know that. You did tell me this.
It means your brain is okay. So it means somebody switched us, either the mother or school or somewhere, and we became a righty, but we're also a lefty. So lefties are different than anybody else. I've been married to 3 of them, so I know. So it means they think like different than a righty would think. We get the same answers. When my husband used to make computers at work, if you opened one up, you'd know he wired it because it was all opposite of what a righty would do. He'd do everything the other way. So that's what it means. But it means in her case that that's why her hand is complicated, because I'm trying to see the left through the right. And I'm right-handed today, but I'm also one that got switched. When you get switched, you have 2 little voices in your head. So you have one going, na, 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 on the other side, and a righty has, na, 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 na. See the difference?
Yeah.
So you make more mistakes when you're a switchy because
I
can't help it. You don't know which side is the right one. Okay.
Wow. That's amazing.
She's always thinking of the next thing she wants to tackle. She has no fear in taking on new projects. She eats on the run because she's busy with numerous pressures on her to do a lot of things or get a lot done, which could be phone calls, planning, paperwork, emails, whatever it is. She was a poor eater as a young child and outgrew it in her teens. And I think she should go barefoot on the grass when it's not raining or wherever she is, because she needs to release tension and she needs to get back to the earth. She needs to feel the earth under her feet. And she has, let's see, from a past life, she has 4 past lives. So that means she's 400 years old plus now. And she needs she doesn't want any more opposites. Now she needs a like. She needs somebody with the same philosophy, same mindset, loves and hates the same food she does, same music. So she needs somebody on the same level or the same playing field she's on.
Okay.
It would be mutual respect. 100% unconditional love. And her karmic debt would be fulfilled, so she wouldn't have to come back if she finds this. So I don't know if she has it already or it's any time now, because it looks around now. So I think she seeks a soulmate and it's coming. So my example of soulmates that find each other is grandma and grandpa. So let's say one of them died and the other one didn't get to the hospital in time to say goodbye. This lifetime, you're not grandma or grandpa, but you carry those implants in you. So if a person's only been here once, because I've only been here one time, I just have one. If a person's been here 7, they have 7 implants. And those are all memory banks that you can call on. They just pop up in your head at different times. So in this lifetime, let's say I was grandpa last time. This time I'm me, but I find grandma. But I don't find grandma, I find who I find. The person you end up with would have that memory bank in their system. It's just a system that you carry with you. Everybody carries these memory bank implants. And so the one who had 11 past lives has 11 implants. The ones who have 4 have 4. So this one happens to have 4. So anyone who donates more than 2 years to any relationship, no marriage is ever going to happen. Because that means that that's too long. There's no reality there.
Right.
And that's my litmus test on union. And I put together over 3,000 people that were soulmates. So that's 1,500 couples. And I have scrapbooks to prove it, with this fat scrapbooks with invitations and to their wedding, baby announcements, graduation of their kids from high school. You know, and it just keeps on going because people remember that I predicted it, and then it happens. So her work lines, she began early with babysitting or part-time jobs or chores, and she learned how to count money, and she had it in a little box, and I see where she took it out, counted it, played with it, put it back in there. And I see where she had 4 jobs on her palm that made an impression on her, 4 different jobs. And all work is stress-related with aggravation, and we all know that. So change is marked on her palm for this year. So whatever it is will feel fresh and different, but it'll be something she's familiar with too. And she'll be compensated for this, for her new effort. So that means she'll get more money than she's getting now. She seems to be pulled in several different directions at one time and needs to drop some of the time-consuming little things she's doing. Change will be for her highest good. And she should be concentrating on going forward stronger than where she is now. And she'll listen to be a huge success in the future. And it's due. It's her time. Something new will be offered and she'll go for it. And it says she's on a path that's a right fit for now, but it's not forever, because she'll be changing that. And she never runs out of ideas. And she has the letter M on her hand, right in the middle of the palm. And M stands for 3 things: survivor, a lot of money that she's going to come into, and nobody can dupe you. So that was Vivian.
Beautiful.
So that
Absolutely
was 7
great.
of them.
Some of your comments are, Julia had said she is a lefty, and your reading made a lot of sense to her. Did Myrna say, I will have love coming up? That was Julia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I didn't read every single thing I typed because you told me just to do the highlights. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So if any of them want the real reading, they should get in touch with me, because that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, this is just a synopsis of what is read on your palm very quickly by Myrna, a little short version of what she does. She has read, did I read that you have read, as of April 29th, 2020, 57,103 palms?
Well, I'm over that now. I'm at 57,311.
That's astonishing.
And that doesn't count these little semi ones.
Right.
You know, those are, real reading. So yeah, so I've been counting since my sister was 6 years old and I was 10. I learned on her hand. So she's number 1. She'll always be number 1.
Oh,
and so
that's amazing. Amazing work.
27 years ago when I met this husband, He said, I said, you're number 9999. He said, I want to be number 10,000. I said, no, you don't understand. You're the 9,999th one. He said, I'm telling people I was 10,000. So look how far I've come. In 27 years, I went from 10,000 to 57,311. So,
wow, that's amazing. MyrnaLou.com. That's all you need.
My website. I just want to say one thing.
Yes.
And I really appreciate you having me. I'm having fun. I told you I would have fun on this show.
Yep.
I did a show for out of Canada, December 27th, and I'm still getting readings from that. And so far I have 40 from that show. So the reason I'm saying that is I would like people, if they contact me, to let me know they saw it on your show.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
And that way I can track how many you get.
Yeah, we always like to know where our people are coming from, so we know whether to keep doing something, not keep doing something. Very helpful. And then we can give people what they want. You know, that's always helpful. Great show. Everybody's just in love with you, Myrna. It's absolutely amazing. All the celebrities that you had. I mean, you're a celebrity. You just are.
Well, semi. Let me tell you, I'll tell you some of the celebrities that I've done. So
yes.
Many years ago, I did Jackie Gleason. Then I did John Travolta.
Wow.
I've done Clint Eastwood, Sly Stallone, Kevin Bacon, Ivana Trump before she was divorced. So that's amazing right there. So those are all just some of them I'm thinking about at the top of my head. Phil Donahue. I told him he'd be the first TV talk show host, and he was.
Wow.
And then Irma Bombeck, which I told you I've done her. So every one of those people have, the people who are in theater or in movies or celebrities have a head this big. It's all ego, except for Kevin Bacon, who was a regular person. He was just a young kid back then. So he's been married 37 years to the same woman, which is unusual for Hollywood. But this was 20 years ago when I read all those people.
Yes.
Jackie Gleason was in the early 70s, but
yeah,
I remember all that. So I was rubbernecking and looking. And so he came over and said, "What you looking at?" And I said, "You look just like Jackie Gleason." He said, "I am." So I read his hand.
Oh, that's
Pier 66 in Fort Lauderdale. So
that's amazing. And the information stays with you because you explain where it's located, what it means, and it's really incredibly helpful. It really is.
Yeah, because I show the person every line. I explain it as we go, you know.
That's great. That is great. Thank you for being with us tonight. This has been so educational and amazing information.
It was a fast hour. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just went really quickly and everybody's jumping on.
And I hope I hear some of your people will get in touch with me. That would be fun.
Yes, I hope you do. Please take advantage of this special that Myrna Lou is running, and you can check out.
Normally, I charge $100, so I'm charging $50. I use PayPal, and I just had a lady today that didn't know how to do it, so she sent a money order instead.
Yeah,
As long as it's in U.S. American, I don't care. But I do people in all those foreign countries, and I tell them I don't want yen, I don't want funny, I want American money.
Yeah, I hear you. No Bitcoins here. Thank you so much for joining us, Myrna. It's been so great.
I had a good time too.
I wish you a lot of luck in July. Maybe I will see you there. And I encourage everyone to, if you're in the Sarasota area, please stop by the Sarasota Municipal Auditorium for the Sarasota Mystic Fair in July. Sarasota, Tamiami Trail. We have a few guests coming up. We had Myrna Lou Goldbaum tonight. It was a knockout, as she is. Next week, please join us. That'll be June 11th. Mr. Mark Anthony rejoins us.
I know that.
The psychic lawyer. I can't wait for him to come back. I call him the Dynamite Kid. He is an author, lecturer, lawyer, just amazing gentleman, absolutely amazing, astonishing, probably the best brief mediumship reading I have ever had. And I've had the experience to meet a lot of old school and very talented mediums. And I'm telling you, Mark Anthony has a niche for this. He just has something about the way he reads is phenomenal. Check out his website. There are videos of him working gallery. It's phenomenal. Rock and Roll Heaven will knock your socks off. Great video. So please join us next week. The following week on the 18th, you have me, Carolan Carey, the Psychic Medium of Sarasota, SRQ. I hope you will join us for some mini readings, and I hope you will consider me your spirit connection. So looking forward to that. And then we have on the 25th, Reverend Lee Chapin. Chapin, yes. And she is going to be a radio show host. She's already started her show on Goldylocks Productions. She's phenomenal. Very interesting woman with a psychology background. I can't wait to speak to her about her ability to channel Jesus and Mary Magdalene and what lessons. She's an author as well. So please join us for that. I hope everyone enjoyed the show. We're at 9:00. Thank you so much. Join us next week. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Myrna.
Don't want the fun to end? Grab more refreshments, then head over to Goldylocks Productions YouTube channel. With over 950 archive shows, the fun doesn't have to end.